I want users to be able to sign up, log in, and log out. I'll be using Django OAuth to allow all these functions. So go to Django OAuth, read the docs.org, and I'm going to install this. On the left panel, hit installation, copy pip install Django OAuth, open terminal, and paste in this command to install Django OAuth. Type pip freeze, and you can see that Django OAuth has been installed. Go back to the OAuth installation guide. In settings.py, you could see that I need template context processors. I first need to get the default template context processors. To do this, go to djangoproject.com, click on Django documentation, and then type in template context processors. Click on this first link and search for template context processors. Down here. Oops. Oh, I went back. There we go. And grab these. Go into settings.py and paste them in. Then set these equal to template, all in capital, underscore context, underscore processors. And have those equal these template context processors that we got from the Django documentation. These processors do things such as messages and authentication. In the future, I could add more context processors, but don't worry too much about how this works. For now, the main thing is getting OAuth working. So go back to OAuth installation guide and copy OAuth's context processors here. Go back into settings.py and paste OAuth's template context processors in between the two brackets here. Delete the comments and reformat everything just so it looks a little better. Oh, make sure you have these commas. Okay, that's a little more organized. Go back to the OAuth installation and copy authentication underscore backends. In settings.py, paste this under the template context processor closing bracket. Delete all these comments too. Just to organize things. And in the OAuth installation guide, I need OAuth.account, OAuth, and Django.contrib.sites in my installed apps. So copy these three, open settings.py, go to installed apps, and paste them in. I could have used OAuth.social account, and there's many different providers that I could have used for these social accounts, but for now I'm just going to install the plain OAuth app. These three here. I also need site underscore ID from the OAuth documentation. Paste that in at the bottom of settings.py. And lastly, from the OAuth installation guide, I need the URL. So copy this URL, open urls.py, and paste it in underneath the contact URL. And save urls.py and then close that file. Open terminal and run python manage.py migrate. And I can see that OAuth has been synchronized. Go back to the OAuth documentation and from the left panel, click on Configuration. This page discusses OAuth settings. These settings have different default configurations. For example, account_confirm email on get, default is false. You can copy any of these settings you want to change, but I've already done that and put them into a file called all.py. I'll make this file accessible to you in the lecture, so you could just copy and paste this and follow along. So don't worry about copying this yourself. You'll have this file, and you could use it. So I'm going to just copy everything from all.py and go into settings.py. At the bottom of settings.py, I'll just paste them in, and then I'll add 2 more settings. The first one will be login_URL. I'll have that equal single quotes /accounts/login and ending slash. And then I'll have the second one be login_redirect_URL. And I'll have that equal just a blank /. So like I said, I already have done all these settings for you. I left some of these settings with their default configuration. I'm going to talk about some of these settings now. But again, to make this easier for you, I'll make sure to upload this code to the lecture, and all you'll have to do is copy and paste it into your settings.py file. Remember, if you have any questions, all these settings are explained right here in the Django OAuth documentation. So now I'm going to explain some of these settings. Go back to settings.py, and I'll start with login_URL. What login_URL does, if a user goes to /account/login, they will see the login page. Login_direct URL is the page where the user is taken after they've logged in. In this case, after the user logs in, I'm redirecting them to the home page. Account_authentication method can be the username, email, or both. I have mine as both. Account confirm email on get equals false means that when the user account is accessed, OAuth will look to see if the user's account has been confirmed. OAuth can do different things depending on if the email is confirmed or not. I'm not going to be using this, so I just kept it set to false. Account email confirmation anonymous redirect URL. I set it to the login URL, account/login. And what this does is when a user signs up to the site, they are sent an email to confirm their account. This setting dictates where an anonymous user can be sent to after they have confirmed their email. An anonymous user is a user who's logged out of their account. I put mine to send anonymous users who click the email confirmation link to the login page. Account email confirmation authenticated redirect URL. I have mine equals none. And this is similar to this last one. However, this setting redirects signed-in users who click the email confirmation link. I'll send these users to the home page. Account email confirmation _expired days equals 3. This setting specifies when the link in the user sign-up confirmation expires. Account email required equals false. If account email required is set to true, then when registering for the site, the user must provide an email address. If this is set to false, a user can register for the site with just a username and password. Account email verification. This is optional. I have it set to none. And I'm not going to discuss this. You could look in the OAuth documentation if you're interested in it. Account email subject _prefix. This is the subject of the sent email. That is the email that's sent when the user signs up. The default is the site's name. Account default HTTP protocol equals HTTP. OAuth uses this protocol to create URLs. For example, an email URL to reset a forgotten password. If the site is secure, use HTTPS. The site I'm building, though, will just use the default HTTP, though. Account logout on get equals false. This is set to false. When logging out, a prompt will appear asking if you're sure if you want to log out. If this is set to true, when logging out, the user will be immediately logged out. Account logout redirect underscore URL equals a /. This is the URL the user is taken to after they've logged out. Mine takes the user to the home page once they log out. Account signup underscore form class. If you didn't want to use the default OAuth signup form, you could configure a custom field here, but I'm not going to be doing this, so I'll just leave it set to none. Account signup password verification equals true. If this is set to true, when signing up, the user will have to input the same password twice. This helps to avoid typos. Account unique email equals true. If account unique email is set to true, then no two accounts can sign up with the same email address. The default is true, so I'll leave mine like that. Account user model username field equals username. This is where you set the name of the field where users input their username. You would need to create a custom user model to do this. I'm not going to create a custom model, so I'll leave this as the default. Account user model email field. Again, I'm not going to create a custom model, so I'll leave this as the default. So I'll leave it set to email there. Account username minimum length. This is where you set the minimum number of characters that a username can be. I'll set mine to 5. Account username blacklist here equals banned usernames. So if you don't want users on your site to use a certain username, put the users in this blacklist. I would recommend leaving this empty and only ban usernames whenever problems arise. Account username required. I have this set to true. And if account username required is set to true, then a username must be entered when a user registers to the site. Account password input render value. I have this set to false, and if this is set to false, then the password will be hidden as the user types. I like this feature, so I'll leave it set to false. Account password input render value. I have this set to false, and if this is set to false, then the password will be hidden as the user types. I've already gone over that one, sorry. Account password minimum length. This is where you set the minimum number of characters that a password can be. I'm almost done. Account login on email confirmation equals true. If this is set to true, then when a user confirms their email address, they will be automatically logged in. I'll leave this set to true. I just went through the settings for Django OAuth. If you have any other questions, remember to look at the documentation. It goes over this stuff in detail. So now I have installed Django OAuth. I want to test it out. Open terminal and run your project's local server, python manage.py run server. Go to your project's homepage and go to /admin and make sure you're logged out. Now type in accounts/login. And this is all from OAuth. I can use my admin username and password to log in. To log out, from the URL, go to /accounts/logout and sign out. I'm redirected to the home page. You can also go to /accounts/signup to register with another email address. In this tutorial, I've explained and installed Django OAuth. See you in the next video.